Hi, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our latest ABTA member video conference call today. I'm Danny Wayne, Head of Membership at ABTA, and I'm going to be hosting today's session. Today, we'll be hearing updates from across the ABTA team, starting with Shelley from ABTA's communications team, who'll be telling us about the latest Travel with Confidence campaign, followed by Ollie, who'll be giving us a public affairs update. Thanks to everyone who's submitted questions for today's VCC to help us to shape the content. And as always, you'll have the opportunity to take part in our live monthly Q&A as we go through. With that in mind, if you do have any questions that you'd like to ask today, please drop them in the Q&A box on Zoom if you're watching the webinar there, or if you're joining us live on Facebook, then pop your questions into the comments box and I'll keep an eye out on those. Now, you may be aware that we save all of these monthly video conference calls in the ABTA member zone. Last month, we had almost 300 people registered for the EES and ETIAS special webinar that we ran. And I'm conscious that there was a lot of information to take in during that VCC. You may like to watch it back. To do so, please log in to the ABTA member zone. Click on Running Your Business at the top of the screen, and then select ABTA member video conference calls from the drop-down menu. Once you've done that, you'll be able to see this page and watch the most recent VCC on demand. There's Luke there introducing the EES and ETIAS video conference call. And in fact, if you scroll down, we have all of the previous video conference calls for you to watch back, should you have missed a particular topic or want to share the content with a colleague. Now, moving straight into our first update this month, I'd like to invite Shelley, ABTA's Head of Brand and Marketing, to share some insights into the most recent ABTA Travel with Confidence campaign. Welcome, Shelley.
Thanks very much, Danny. Hello, everybody, from a very wet and miserable Surrey. So I just wanted to go through some of the results from the latest phase of our annual Travel with Confidence campaign. And this phase ran from beginning of December until the end of February. Just to give you a reminder of why we run the campaign, on the next slide, it is to maintain consumer confidence in travel, to promote ABTA members as the only way to book a holiday, and to encourage people to dream, whether big or small, about travel with holidays. But actually, you just need a really rainy day to really want to dream about going on holiday. I certainly have been dreaming about getting out of here since I woke up this morning. Just looking at our approach this year to the campaign, we've approached it slightly differently. We have introduced a third phase to the campaign, and actually we started a month earlier. I was presenting on one of these video conference calls last year, just talking about the first phase of the campaign, which was Dream It, which so you guys might already be familiar with that. That ran for 2 weeks in November. We then moved on to the Book It campaign, the really pushing the message of always looking for that ABTA member before you book your holiday. And then we're going to sort of slide into a spring campaign around Living It, working title at the moment. We haven't quite finalised that. And that is going to be very much a wrap up of the whole campaign once we finalised phase 3. Just looking at some of the creative approach that we took this year, we sort of planned everything around this whole notion that we always do the same thing, we'll always get the same results. So actually, last year we had some really good stats coming out of the Travel Confidence campaign 22, 23, but we wanted to slightly widen our audience group for this year. We took a conscious decision to really focus on that younger age group, the 18 to 24-year-olds, and explore different ways to do that, as well as focus on the family market, as we usually do, and the main sort of decision makers. So just looking at that first sort of kick-off approach for phase 2 in December, that was looking at radio. We did a advertising campaign with Heart Digital. So it was UK based, aimed at the family market. So using Heart there. And if just going on to the next slide, Danny, there we go. We started the radio ads in early December, and that was really to bridge the gap between that sort of idea of dreaming it and actually booking it. So we ran this particular radio ad I'm going to play you in a minute, that ran up to Boxing Day, and that was very much with the continue to dream about it message. But we switched that on Boxing Day to book it with the booking message, to align with that second phase. So if you'd like to play the ad, thank you.
A gift card for Auntie Karen, a box of chocks for Uncle Pete, a novelty hat for Amy at work, and that leaves you. Holiday in the Maldives? When you're dreaming of a breakaway, look for the ABTA logo. Because when you book with an ABTA travel company, you can be confident they'll help you find the perfect holiday with full peace of mind. Don't just dream it. Find out more at abta.com/travel with confidence. ABTA, where to next?
So that ad actually ran for 34 days, and we reached over 2 million people who would have heard it around 3 to 4 times, which was really starting to build our brand presence in that sort of peaks, or the traditional peaks, if you like, booking period. So that was really, that performed really, really well for us. Just moving on to the social side of the campaign, we looked at this from a traditional channel type of approach, which we've done many times before, but looking at sort of the meta channels of Facebook and Instagram. We ran Pinterest ads last year, which did really well, so we continued that with this year's campaign, and also on YouTube as well. The Facebook and Instagram, for that sort of 9-week period, we had almost 9 million. We reached almost 9 million people with that. With Pinterest, it was over 1.2 million, and YouTube over 4.5 million. Then we ran some videos across each of these channels as well. I'm just going to share some of the videos with you.
I'm a busy mum with a long pre-holiday to-do list. This summer we flew out to Crete in Greece to an all-inclusive resort, and we had a great time.
I love to travel, and I've got a big trip coming up, and it's so important to me to be able to feel relaxed on my trip and to feel confident in the agency that's booking it for me.
Confidence, that peace of mind that your hard-earned cash is going to get you a holiday of a lifetime. You are getting the highest quality holiday and that peace of mind as well.
So there were just some examples of some of the videos we produced for this campaign. There was 8 in total, and we used customers of ABTA members. We put a shout out on social for people that have used an ABTA member, and we asked them why they used an ABTA member. We've found in the past it's always more powerful a message if it comes from your customers as to why they use an ABTA member and why they look for the logo. So we had some great great submissions. We could only go with 8 in the end, but we had some really good submissions of why people use the ABTA logo. And it was really trying to push that message while they're looking for it, while they're booking with an ABTA member. And that was all based around consumer sentiment, the positive sentiment that we've had in the past. So that peace of mind, that confidence, that know that you're gonna get what you've booked, those kinds of messages. So they were really nice and performed really, really well. Something new that we did this year, we've been playing around with a bit of podcast advertising. It's obviously very targeted podcast advertising, and in the past we've run some actual adverts like you heard, like a bit like the radio advert on podcasts, but this time we wanted to try and do something that was possibly a bit more authentic, and we went for a host-read podcast, and we had these two characters, Elizabeth Day and Emma Reed Terrell, on a podcast called Best Friend Therapy, which you have to say very slowly. So we wanted to go with this podcast because it was very much that family demographic, that female decision maker, the sort of the age range is very broad with this, so it was a kind of like 30 plus, so that worked really well for us. And actually this was really positive, I think, in terms of what we got from the brief that we submitted. So the method with this was to write a very comprehensive brief and let them run with it. So I'm going to play this for you, and actually we were really pleased with the outcome.
Now time to thank our partner for this episode, ABTA. If you're looking to book your holiday, then look for the ABTA logo and book it with an ABTA member, because it really does instill you with confidence to travel. And you've done just that, haven't you, Em?
I have done that, exactly. And you know what? I don't know that I needed that confidence in the way that I do now before COVID. But since COVID, when I came to booking a holiday, it was the beginning of this year, I wanted to go through a travel agent, and I felt like I wanted that knowledge and advice and expertise, and feeling that there was just somebody who could take care of it for me. I needed that. And that was that holiday that I took the kids to Sweden. Do you remember? We went right up to the north of Sweden. We had that incredible holiday where it was like dog sledding and northern lights and everything. And there was something about just knowing that everything was taken care of that meant that I started my holiday from the moment I booked it. Who knew?
I love that. And I do remember that holiday, a lot of reindeers on the old Instagram. And I completely agree. There's something about a travel agent that you just feel completely confident that they know exactly what they're talking about. They can tell you the best routes, the best places to stay. An ABTA logo travel agent is the way to go. So I completely agree with you, Emma. And also, post-Christmas, we all want something to look forward to. So I can highly recommend, this is my life hack, booking your holiday now.
Yes.
With an ABTA supported travel agent.
It's easy. Visit abta.com/member search.
So hopefully you can see or hear from that rather, that actually they were really, really on message. We were really, really pleased with what they had to say, talking about travel agent expertise and all the good stuff that we try and get out there. I think it came across as really natural, really authentic, and that is the whole thing with the podcast and the host-read approach. So we're really pleased with the outcomes of that. Moving on to the student room, again, this is something brand new for us, and it was us really focusing on that younger market, so that 18 to 24-year-old market, really trying to boost awareness of the ABTA brand with that demographic. And we've done a bit of this in the past, but actually we really want to focus on this because we know from our research that this is where we struggle a bit with brand recognition, but also acknowledgement of why the brand's important. So we are really focusing some of our resource and our time on actually engaging with that younger market. These guys boasted that they're the UK's largest online student community. Some of the sort of stats that they offered up there, over 4.6 million users, that kind of thing. So we had a bit of a month-long partnership with these guys, and this was really focusing on, we had a bit of a forum. They have lots of chat forums on there, and we took over with loads of advertising on that. So we got the ABTA logo out there. We also got lots of links to looking for an ABTA member and why they should do it, hints and tips on why ABTA members are the best people to ask about, you know, holiday destinations, how to get there, hacks around sort of value for money, those sorts of tips as well. And then we also had 2 Solus emails out to their membership. So it was we got to really hit home and really instill that message around always booking with an ABTA member. Here are the reasons why. ABTA members can get you the best deals, last minute bookings, but you know, go on a different day, travel out season, all those sorts of things. So we're just waiting on the results from the student room. So we should have those fairly shortly to see how much engagement we got through that as well. So that was one of the new sort of channels we used for phase 2. Moving on, we've got a third and final phase, which will be coming up in May. That sort of has that working title of Living It. So this is going to be aimed at sort of maybe those last minute bookers who want to get a nice deal outside of that July, August, the traditional peak going away time, tips on when to go, where to go, value for money, travel professional expertise and knowledge, package holidays, that sort of thing. We started this year's campaign back in November, which was influencer led, and we're going to sort of wrap this final phase up with influencer led marketing. So we are just engaging with a few influencers at the moment. We are going to dabble in TikTok for the first time, which is really exciting, but we really use some key influencers who've got a great following on that to get across that ABTA message and to encourage people to looking for the ABTA logo before they book their holiday. So watch this space, if you like, with this third campaign. We're just finalising details at the moment, and then we'll let you know either through ABTA today or a future video conference call what that campaign is going to look like and how you can get involved as well. And then sort of finally, we have just literally on Friday had our latest brand tracking research results back. Top line is looking really, really positive. So I'm really excited about this. We're still analysing the results at the moment, but I'm really looking forward to coming back and talking to you, I think probably at the next video conference call around the brand tracking and sentiments towards the ABTA brand, sentiments towards ABTA members, specifically around that, how much more people are willing to pay when it comes to booking with an ABTA member, because those results are looking really, really positive. So there's some good stuff in there, and I'll be looking to share that with you next time.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Shelley. Lots of interesting stuff there, and always good to hear that people are prepared to spend a little bit more money. That's what we like. So moving on to our next session, we're going to hear from Ollie, ABTA's Public Affairs Manager, who is going to share some updates on ABTA's latest public affairs work. Hi, Ollie. Over to you.
Hi, thanks, Danny. Nice to be on the call. Quick introduction. I'm the new Public Affairs Manager in Luke's team. Started in January, so working with him on the public affairs activities, and Wilma and Julia as well. So just wanted to give you an update on the recent spring budget and a couple of the important points for the travel and tourism sector. So it was the last budget that's expected before the next general election, although it's widely expected that there will be another fiscal event before we actually go to the polls. It was quite a mixed bag of announcements, which possibly indicates further that there'll be an election in November, probably November the 15th. just as there wasn't too much election meat in the announcements. There were some positive policies for the sector and some, as I'm sure you've read in the news, that were less so. In terms of the travel sector, the main announcement from the Chancellor was a one-off adjustment to air passenger duty for non-economy passengers. The Chancellor said that this was to help account for inflation and prevent real-term losses to the Treasury. I've included on the slide a table which shows the APD increases by band. The sector has reacted quite badly to the increases, and organisations such as Airlines UK, which represents most of the airlines, and also many individual airlines have come out against the decision and against the increases quite vehemently. And ABTA Chief Executive Mark Tanzer commented in his budget response that the UK already has one of the highest air travel tax burdens, and that it must not become the thin end of the wedge at a time when the UK economy needs the economic growth that travel creates. Elsewhere, Mr. Hunt announced the abolition of the furnished holiday lettings tax regime. So that's eliminating incentives for short-term landlords, and which is obviously not a great announcement in terms of the inbound travel sector in the UK. But in more positive news, the Chancellor did announce £270 million in research and development funding for aerospace and automotive research. So we hope that that will help support the journey to sustainable aviation and the sort of future of sustainability in the sector. Also announced was the extension of the COVID recovery loan scheme, which has been rebranded as the Growth Guarantee Scheme. So this is a welcome announcement of support for sectors like ours. In terms of more personal tax measures and wider business measures, there was also a 2p cut in national insurance, so down from 10% to 8% from the 6th of April, and then also a cut in the self-employed national insurance rate from 9% to 6%. And again, the government froze fuel duty and also introduced other taxes such as vaping tax and a one-off increase in tobacco tax and other sort of background taxes such as that. The Chancellor did also commit to extending full expensing, which had been made permanent in the autumn statement back last year, to leased assets. But he said that the extension to leased assets would be as soon as possible, but we'll have to see and wait and see how long that actually takes to come to fruition. But that's a quick whistle-stop tour of last week's budget. In addition to the budget monitoring, the team have been meeting with various MPs recently, ministers. We had a recent meeting with the aviation minister back in February, which went really well. And we're looking for a meeting with Kevin Hollinrake, who's one of the business ministers, which should be happening in the next couple of months. We've also been meeting with members of the Scottish Parliament as well, Murdo Fraser and Sharon Dowie recently. But that's a quick run through. If you do have any questions about the budget or any of the other public affairs activities, our email address is on the screen there. And we also did produce a briefing on the main announcements from the budget. So do let me know if you want to have this sent over to you. Happy to send. But yeah, that's a quick whistle stop of the budget.
Lovely. Thanks, Ollie. A really useful update for members there. Thank you. Now, before we get into our live Q&A, I'd like to invite Esther from our membership team to share a few dates for your diaries. Over to you, Esther.
Thank you, Danny. Good morning, everyone. I am Esther Riska from membership team. I'm the membership onboarding manager. And this morning, I would love to tell you about a few upcoming events that we have planned. Our next event that taking place later this week is completely sold out. However, coming up later in March, we have claims handling in travel, communicating in sustainability, accessible travel and tourism, followed in April by a new event, corporate governance in travel. So this seminar will cover key principles and practices in corporate governance, including focus on environmental, social, and governance and risk management, the returns of Adventure Travel Conference, ABTA's popular aviation forum, which has just opened for registration, so don't miss out on that, followed by cybersecurity in travel and crisis communication in travel. All dates for these events are shown on your screen right now, and you can find out more details on the event page of abta.com. Now, finally, one more date for your diary. Our next ABTA member video conference call will take its usual slot at 11 a.m. on Tuesday, 9th of April, 2024. If you would like to submit a question or suggested a topic for us to cover next month, please do so, get in touch with us or mention it during the registration process for the next video conference call.
Excellent. Thanks, Esther, for all of those dates. So up next, we have our live Q&A. If you do have any questions, please feel free to ask those now. I know we've had a few come through already that I've been taking as we've been running through this morning's session. One that we've had pre-submitted already was, are there any further updates since last month's video conference call regarding timescales for the implementation of EES during Q3 this year? And what should we be advising concerned customers about at this stage? To take that one, there is nothing further on EES or ETIAS to add since last month's video conference call, but ABTA is involved in a communications group, which is chaired by the Commission and Frontex. So when there are any updates to share with members, we'll circulate those as soon as we can. And ABTA's public affairs team and communications team have been working together on messaging for the website. So I wanted to share these with you just to signpost you to these. So on the passports and visas page on abta.com, if you check that out, we've updated that now based on the information from last month. And the visa section there references ETIAS, so please do have a look through. And it also refers consumers through to Brexit on the ABTA website as well, which looks like this. So you can also access this page and share it with your customers if you'd like. Again, there's reference in there under the visa section about EES, the entry-exit system, and also ETIAS as well. So we'll keep those pages up to date, and likewise, we'll keep members in the loop as things progress on that. So thanks a lot for that question. Moving on to another one that we've had through, could ABTA look to simplify its arrangements for travel insurance sales introductions? This is where members are able to sell the travel insurance, like other companies that have a straightforward and smooth process without any excess bureaucracy. So thanks a lot for submitting that question. I know that my colleague Ian Hall, who looks after ABTA's travel insurance and travel money, will be more than happy to talk this through. But just to give you a bit more feedback on this, so ABTA's travel insurance product is an appointed representative, so an AR of AXA, and under FCA rules, an AR does not have permission to sub-delegate. So for a member to be able to promote the ABTA travel insurance, they would need to become an appointed representative or an introducer appointed representative of AXA. And the area for introducers to be non-regulated is a grey one, especially where commission is paid. Now, we are aware that there are companies that have non-regulated introducers, and there is a lot of scrutiny from the FCA in regards to the current AR regime, and in particular, consumer duty, so transparency and best customer outcomes, and the distribution value curve, so who earns what in the sales cycle. So yeah, appreciate your feedback, and I've shared that with Ian. If there are any updates on this going forward, then Ian will be back to share those with you through the video conference calls and also through ABTA today as well. So keep an eye out on those. If you do have any further questions, feel free to pop those in. Don't think any more have come through. So if not, I will thank you all for joining us again today. As usual, the recording of today's video conference call will be uploaded to the member zone on abta.com. Our next video conference call will be held on Tuesday, the 9th of April. So please look out for your invitation, which will be sent out in the coming weeks. Try to stay dry and have a great week. Thank you very much.